What the Clown Gave Me by DvmDv8. The first package, a plain cardboard box, was left on our doorstep on a mild morning in early fall. No address, no label, nothing. As I opened it, I saw a few wisps of red hair deep inside. It was a bright red-orange wig with long nylon hair. It was dirty, with crusty and matted spots where the fake strands had coalesced into proto-dreadlocks. I saw a 3x5 card on the bottom of the box and flipped it over to read it. There, scrawled in crayon in a child's looping and uneven script, was one word: Caroline. I don't know anyone named Caroline. The closest I came was a college girlfriend who was so obsessed with the Neil Diamond song it had become her nickname. I hadn't thought about her in years. I was torn between tossing the ratty-ass thing and setting it aside. On the off chance that some neighborhood kid had dropped it off at the wrong house, I set it on the pile of winter tires in the garage and didn't give it another thought until the following week. This time, it was a clear plastic bag. It was left on the welcome mat like some dismembered mouse that a cat would leave as an offering to its owner. It held only one thing: a red rubber nose. A fucking clown's rubber nose. I looked around to see if I could catch a glimpse of who'd left it, but the heavy coating of morning dew on the bag indicated it'd been there for some time. I didn't see anyone but old Mrs. Hitchcock walking her dog. I put it next to the wig on the pile of tires and dressed for work. But a sense of unease had crept into the morning, one that stayed with me all day. I asked my wife if she knew anything about it that evening. She laughed it off with a wave of her Chardonnay. "It's probably some neighbor kid punking you, Ron," she said. "We're just lucky it's not a flaming bag of dog shit, love. People are animals sometimes." 2 weeks later, same thing. A shoebox, obscenely large, sat outside the garage door when I opened it to leave for work. I almost backed over it, but saw it at the last second in the rearview camera of the Volvo. Lynn had already left for work and the kids had boarded the bus for school. I got out of the car and stared at it, dreading opening it, knowing what I'd find. Clark's novelty Owl Hollow was emblazoned on its garnish but faded colors. It was dented and worn in spots and looked decades old, like something from a traveling circus heyday. I remember standing in the driveway staring at it, the fall air seeming suddenly colder, the clouds closer in. I lifted the lid with my foot and regarded the massive, bulbous red shoes inside. Tucked into the left shoe was another 3x5 card. This one read, Annalise. Lynn had left only a few minutes before I opened the garage, which told me two things. It was definitely meant for me, and whoever left it was likely to still be around. Looking around our cul-de-sac gave me no clues. It was as quiet as a titty bar on a Sunday morning. I texted Lynn, "Hey babe, see anyone odd when you left for work? Got another one of those weird packages between when you left and when I opened the garage. Shoes, clown shoes." Nothing. After one final look around, I placed the box, handling it like it was a live grenade, next to the other two items on the pile of tires. Lynn said that night she'd seen nothing out of place and no one unusual that morning. In the following weeks, 3 more came, each one left in the same manner as the others. A tattered cigar box of white, black, and red grease paint, a polka dot blouse with a dirty white ruffle, and another card reading, Martine. A large plastic flower stained with crimson spots. I didn't mention any of them to Lynn. The last package came during the first snow of the year. A bitterly cold November morning, frost limiting the tree branches, the cul-de-sac silent as a morgue. It was a letter, written in black crayon on several small sheets of cheap stationery. "If you want to save Annalise and Martine, meet me at the factory behind the boathouse tomorrow at 9 a.m. Lynn and the kids will be out. You're free, and soon, so will I be. You face a choice, Ron. Kill me, and Annalise and Martine go free. They'll never know you released them as you've released me from this horrid circus of life. I have a kill switch set to free them unless I return and reset it. They'll only know someone took them and held them captive for a few days. Made them watch old Howdy Doody reruns and eat circus peanuts. And if you don't show, oh, then the fun begins in earnest. Such razor-sharp, bloody fun it will be. You know what to wear. Blank." The next morning, I stuffed all the items the clown had given me into a paper bag. Adding in at the last minute, the short machete was used for cutting down weeds. I made my way to the boathouse. He was waiting. He wore a clown suit that was a tattered amalgam of the same items he'd sent me. The blouse was bloodstained and torn, the wig matted with gore and standing in stiff peaks. His grease-painted face was painted with a sharp, jagged smile as if applied by a demented child. Red circles were drawn around each eye, his nose painted in a long black streak that extended up between his eyebrows. He stood in the shadow of the boathouse and spoke in a gravely whisper. "I'm glad you came, Ronald." Did I have a choice? Killing someone through inaction is as bad as doing the deed yourself, I said. Yes, but not nearly as much fun. Good that you're a man of principle, Ron, he continued. Caroline told me where to find you. Seems you made quite the impression all those years ago, Ronald. She never forgot you, although the same can't be said of you. It was quite the coincidence that I met her, but such a fortunate one, wasn't it? She died screaming your name, Ron. Quite the feat, given her tongue was the first to go. They say love never dies, but Caroline sure did. You demented fucking ass clown. I held out the bag to him and took a step in his direction. I could feel the handle of the machete through the bag and encircled it with my hand. He was about 12 feet away, but slinked back into the shadows like a cat. Caroline was a long time ago. Another life. Here, take your weird shit back and let the girls go. All in good time, Ron. All in good time. Those items are yours to keep, until you pass them on to the next one, of course. What the fuck do you mean? This ends now. He laughed a mirthless rumble. Oh, Ron, you're so simple. Why are you doing this? I asked. He held his face in his hands, his head tilted quizzically. Fair question, Ron, and one I'm not sure I know the answer to. I suppose part of it may be jealousy. Jealousy for your perfect suburban life, despite what you did to Caroline, tossing her away like a used prophylactic. Jealousy for the life you live free of the demons that haunt me. But, he drifted off, a distant look in his red-rimmed eyes. But, it may be that you have the same demons. You just haven't met them yet. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, I said. The caterpillar thinks the end of the world is near, Ron, just before becoming a beautiful butterfly. Who knows? Perhaps you'll get a taste for it, as I did. And when you do, you'll eventually come to the same conclusion I did. What's that? I asked, gripping the machete tighter through the bag. That what we call civilization is nothing but a put-on. A show. A great big fucking circus, full of people performing and dogs riding bicycles. It's all a lie. A facade. Underneath all the nicety, we're just animals, red in the tooth and destined to kill to survive. We're a failed species, Ron. All of us. He emerged slowly from the boathouse shadows and looked me right in the eye. We're the same, Ron. You're just me before I became what I am now. I'm nothing like you, shitbird. I'm just a guy. I'm a guy who wants to give you this obscene shit back and make sure Martine and Annalise are okay. Oh, they're quite dead, Ron. I butchered them earlier this morning. How do you think I got this magnificent suit so dirty? I ripped the machete out of the bag and lunged at him, blood pulsing in my temples. He was surprisingly fast and lithe, easily dodging my awkward swing. Now that's the spirit, Ron, he shouted. He threw his head back and laughed, breath steaming in the cold air. We circled each other in the gravel yard 10 paces apart. Luck was on my side as he tripped over a rock and went down hard, his oversized red shoes lifting into the air as he landed with a thud. I stood over him, the point of the machete under his chin. I kicked him in the mouth. He spat red and teeth. Good man, Ron, he said through his ruined mouth. You must feel the power now, no? You must know what I said about civilization is right. I can see it in your eyes. Are you the civilized man you pretend to be? Or are you becoming vengeance, eh? Vengeance for Caroline, for Martine, for Annalise. He laughed as he died. greasy white tears streaming down his broken face, the machete thrust into his neck. I stepped away from his body, gathered all the items I had brought. Without knowing why, I put on the wig he had left on my porch what felt like an eternity ago. I found it to be a perfect fit. I had become what he said I would, a killer. I was as bad as he was. It felt good.